Live from the Adrenaline Sports Academy in Toms River, New Jersey, Titan Championship Wrestling proudly presents Ignition, featuring the TCW Heavyweight Champion Steve Monster Mac, Fox Vineyard, The Big Deal, Greg Steele, The Dark Horse, Johnny Moran, Wrecking Ball Legursky, The Notorious Mimi, The Gladiator of the Geeks, Riley Shepard, The Goddess Champion, The Vivacious Vicious Vicky, and more names still to be announced. Tickets starting at just $15. Titan-championshipwrestling.com. Get your tickets now.
Hey, bats, kiddos, Joker here, and you're listening to the Bob Culture Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a very swaggerific episode of the BCP, and I say that only because I'm joined by my good friend, and he is the swagger of the TCW commentary table ahead of his appearance alongside me, David Adams, and the great roster over at Titan Championship Wrestling presents Ignition April 17th at Adrenaline Sports Academy in Toms River, New Jersey. Tickets are still available. Get them now. Please welcome to the show my good friend and the senior brand rep over at Beating the Odds Apparel, my good friend, Mr. Marlon Dinkins. Marlon, always a pleasure.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on?
Thanks for coming on, bro. How are you?
What an introduction, man.
But we're not worthy, man. Dude, this is, like I said to you off air, this is long overdue, man. Let's get the mushy stuff out of the way, man. Again, very appreciative of you and Titan and all that stuff for, taking me under your wing. I'm just a drummer, man. I got this little podcast. It's been going well. I'm very appreciative of you guys letting me behind the curtain, man. And I remember the first day at Goddesses, I came right up to you, man. I'm like, thank you for, letting me be on the call. I did my homework. Like, I hope I show up. And man, and you just kind of like rolled with me before the show. You're giving me advice and we just jumped in head first, man. And I really appreciate that, man. So first of all, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, bro.
Man, no problem. I've been seeing a lot of your stuff for a long time. So I already knew you were about your hustle, man. So, and personality wise, you're pretty good. So that it all rolls together, man. It's a good blend.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? Like the business has given so much to me, and I'm excited to hear your story. The business has given so much to me during a very, very hard time. I've been very public about that, man. And I just I love you guys, and I love like the superstars, and I just love having focus and working on commentary and goals and all these interviews and stuff. And it's great, man. And I just want to give it all back, and I want to keep the positivity in wrestling. And I see you doing a lot of good, man. Fighting for a lot of like social justice things and things going on behind the scenes. You're just trying to make wrestling better than you found it, man. And that's kind of my philosophy too, man. So tell us a little bit, we'll talk about how you got into business and all that stuff, but tell us about like your philosophy, like what you want to do for independent wrestling right now.
I think my whole thing with independent professional wrestling, we have we don't have a lot, but we have too many, issues that are kind of taboo to talk about. And we got to talk about them. It's almost like almost secret or something that no one wants to really mention. And I get it. I understand that, but man, look at this. This is getting all shaky.
Hey man, this is me every day doing a podcast. Why we never go live.
What is going on? Yeah, really, right? Hold on.
I'll take your time, brother.
Just certain things in the business. We've had the whole Me Too movement, which I believe was, it sucked, but it was necessary because if there's, victims out there that are holding stuff in and are continuously being victimized, it's just not a good look for pro wrestling as a whole.
Yeah,
a lot of guys are going to wind up going on to bigger and better things. And you don't want things to come back and bite you in the butt. And you should just be treating each other with respect and whatnot, man.
Yeah.
We're all, professionals. And we should just carry ourselves as such, and it's going to get better. It got worse for a little bit of last year, but
Yeah.
unfortunately that was necessary, man.
Yeah.
And I think pro wrestling's better for it. It really is. It's
It,
starting. You can start to see
it is. Yeah.
us police ourselves a little bit better.
Yeah, you said it
So
perfectly. You said it perfectly. Like police ourselves right now, man. And again, like you could see how appreciative I am to that wrestling world. But like in most things in life, like sometimes it breaks your heart, man. And like very
yeah,
recently, a couple months ago, you find out things going on here or there, or people shouldn't have been there in the first place, kind of thing, man. And it breaks my
yeah,
heart. Like people I'm very
and you
close
just
with,
don't know.
people who take you under their wing, and then you just find out these terrible things, man. And it's just like, I have trust issues as it is, man. And it's just like, it breaks your heart.
Yeah,
And
I
and
understand that.
part of me, just like kind of wanted to be like, you know what? Like, I'm just getting out of this. Like, I've done the local music scene, which I still love very much, but that's like very comparable to like the indie wrestling in a lot of ways. But I'm like, you know what? I still have a platform. I want to use it for good. And I feel like we've done that, man. We're doing like the Speaking Out podcast. Just had some great guests on. We're doing the book right now, man. But you're doing a lot of good things right now, man. You're having like even just having conversations with people, like you talk about policing yourselves and all that. Like you brought some things to my attention. I was like, oh, I didn't know that, man. And it's just I think we're kind of just like weeding people out, and not to be negative about the business, but it's just we're trying to make it better than we left it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing that I think people miss with it is it's really not about shining a light on the negative issues. Unfortunately, that is part of the process, but it's not like people are spotlighting this so to knock indie wrestling or to bring it down or to spotlight just the negatives, because there's so much more positive people that are in this. There's so many entities that are able to do things for certain people because of this. So it's not about being negative, but it is about rooting out the negative things that are going
Yeah.
on. And it's happening. People are reacting a lot faster than they used to. I could tell that. Um, and even down to the point where the convenient amnesia, where I didn't know, people are
Very well said.
stopping
Yeah.
that. They're stopping that, and that's one of the things that kind of I lean my hat on. I want to sit on the right side of history and on a lot of these events, at least integrity wise.
Yeah.
It's not about virtue signaling or any of that type of stuff. It's really about stopping predators and whatnot from being around this business.
Yeah.
I mean, even down to the fans. The fans don't need to hear about this type of stuff.
That's
They
what I
don't want
said.
to hear about this
Yeah.
type of stuff. Oh, it's not a good look. So if we can root people out, and not have to have these conversations every 60 days, it'd be good for wrestling, man.
Yeah.
It'd be good for wrestling.
You hit a great, you hit it right on the head. Like such a great point, man. Like, it's like, when the fans like know that stuff's going on and all that stuff, like it's like nobody wins. Like obviously like the big things where people getting weeded out and stuff like that, like get them out of there. Like, be done with that. That's a big deal and stuff like that. But like at the end of the day, like I always say, it's about putting smiles on faces, man. And that's really what it's all about, man. And we're not here, just killing wrestling, but because I'm so thankful for wrestling. I love wrestling. It's so positive to me, and just you included, like all these people that I meet, that I feel like I made so many friends last year. It's amazing during a very tough time, and everyone's like very accepting of me. It blows my mind, and people believe in me just like they believe in you, man. And I want to hear about like your experience, bro. Like, how did you get involved with the business? Like, who said, "Hey, Marlon, we want you to come do this, man"? Like, how did this all start?
It was kind of wild for me. I came in like you, where I was a fan. I'm still a fan.
You gotta be.
Exactly. I came in, and as a fan, I was watching. I think it was in 302 Pro Wrestling. It was down in Delaware, and me and my friend went to a show, and we didn't know like indie wrestling even existed. Like up to 3 years ago, I didn't know this was going on. So we went to a show, and we just had a really good time. And I said, you know what? I want to start doing like podcasts or something. Let's see if I can, kind of learn the business a little bit more.
Oh
Because for
wow.
me, a lot of it is I like the business part of it almost more so than the wrestling itself. I love the wrestling, but the seeing how people react to certain videos, how they react to certain talents, and the whole algorithm of putting together a card that could possibly like fill out a house. To me, that's very interesting. It's
Yeah.
very interesting. But yeah, it started with the podcasting in Delaware, and eventually I started doing video. Well, let me start where it started at.
I was like, are we the
Eventually,
same person? Like, what is this?
I know we have a lot of. And see, the thing you said too that caught my eye earlier is like with the music. I used to do uh, management for music, like little hip hop artists in my
Are you
area.
serious?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when you said it rivals the music industry and can get you almost down in that type of manner, I totally get that because when
Yes.
stuff goes crazy like you did last year with the speaking out movement, and your passion gets tainted by others, it can almost diminish the light. It's similar to music where when bad things happen to that, it's almost like, is this even really worth being connected to? So
Preaching to the
I
choir, man.
totally get that. But it started at Rampage Pro Wrestling down in Dover, Delaware. I started there as a ring announcer for um, a certain person, I'll say.
Yeah, gotcha.
Because unfortunately, this person wound up being tied into.
Isn't that it's
It's
like the
just
more we see these, it's always like I won't say the name, but like, and that's terrible. But at the same time, we're weeding people out. Yeah.
We are like, I want to say his name because he did put me on, but at the same time, I don't want to
I
say his
get it.
name because later down the story, he's not shown in the greatest light. But anyway, he gave me an opportunity to ring announce, and I enjoyed it. I said I'll do it. It's not something I ever really wanted to do. I wanted to always do commentary, but I did that, and we had fun down there. With guys like South Philly's finest, some local guys, 410 Massive, whole bunch of indie guys that you'll run into or have already run into. So, and we were packing out some shows down there.
Oh wow.
Our first show, I think we had like 400 people, which was
Yeah.
crazy.
Especially nowadays with everything
Yeah,
going on, man. That's
yeah.
it's
Like
crazy.
it got pretty. They had a good thing going on, but sometimes things happen behind the curtain and mess stuff up. But
Yeah.
anyway, I did that for a year with Rampage. Wind up going over to ECWA, and they allowed me to ring announce there. Well, that was crazy because that was like ring announcing people like Scarlett Bordeaux,
Nice.
Booker T,
We love the name
Kakoa.
drops. Keep
Yeah,
keep
it
'em
was a
keep
whole
'em
bunch of
coming, man. We're all about the
EC,
name drops. No, that's
EC.
amazing though. Seriously, that's
It's like
amazing.
crazy. Like the second year was real crazy. Like, and that's the one thing I can say about ECWA was a lot of good experience with some serious names, man. They definitely have a legacy over there
That'll make
with
you
the
step
work
up your
on.
game. Yeah, on the spot,
Yeah,
man. Yeah.
yeah. 50 plus years of them being an organization. That's ridiculous in any book. So, uh, but I did some things with Asylum Pro Wrestling with Eric Shea, Crazy Shea out in Pennsylvania, Eureka, Pennsylvania, Houtzdale, excuse me, Pennsylvania. Shout out to Eric Shea and those guys. Um, that's a great group of guys too, man. They really, a lot of them are students, but they really grind up there, man. So I definitely want to give them their flowers right there. It's a little far for me now, so I can't make those shows anymore, but that was a good time too up there with those Asylum boys. Um, I went down to Virginia for a little bit after that,
Oh wow.
and did some stuff with UEW, United Elite Wrestling. Um, that didn't end the way I'd like it to end.
Oh no.
That's right around when I had a run-in with one of the boys that was, again, there's one of the boys that was protecting a sex offender in wrestling, and
Oh gosh.
that didn't go over well. So,
Yikes.
but shout out to that promotion. I appreciated everything I had when I was down there. It was great, great times down there. But Yeah, man. Sometimes in this, to me, life is more important than wrestling. So like, if I'm gonna stand up for something, I'm always stand up for it,
Yeah.
regardless if
So,
I'm not
so
gonna be invited back.
no, not at all. Because like so you've been through it, man. Like for me, like
Oh yeah,
again,
good
like
and the bad.
last year, like wrestling again, like it gave me focus. It gave me something to concentrate on. It gave me all these friends and opportunities. And I just, these real life superheroes, man. Like you say, like we're all fans, and you're just like there's these amazing people, like beautiful inside and out. And then sometimes you just find out things or something. And this is not a general statement. It's just as you said, it's one person or something's going on or this and that, man. And we feel like it's our responsibility, like, hey, like this is a no, like let's make it better, man. Because
Yeah.
in my mind, promoter had such a negative connotation in the music world. Just as far as like pay to play or
Same thing. Yeah, exactly. Payola,
exposure
all that crap.
dollars, which I'm very like, like all that kind of stuff, man. And you work so hard with your music and stuff like that. So what are a lot of the similarities you see between like the music world and the wrestling world? And tell us a little bit about like, did
Number
you
one,
enjoy
janky
yourself
promoters.
like at the hip hop stuff? Oh
Say it
boy.
again?
No, I said, did you enjoy yourself when you were doing like the hip hop stuff?
Oh, most definitely, because I was managing my cousin.
Yeah.
I was just basically trying to get him little gigs and whatnot, and it was really a passion project. Just he has a family, so he wound up falling back and being an adult. You know what I mean? Which is nothing wrong with that.
You
But
do it because
as
you
far
love
as
it. Yeah.
exactly. Parallels though, yeah, janky promoters number one on the survey. I'm luckily right now I'm at Titan, so I don't have to deal with that type of issue. But in the past, yeah, there's definitely been some janky promoters on both sides.
Yes, and it sounds
But
like
with this, go ahead.
we're killing everybody. We're really not. We're just having a real discussion here. Like we're not naming names or anything. We're not trying to do that. But like the whole point here is like again, I'm very grateful for. There's a lot of really good promoters, and then there's a lot of like hot dog and handshake and all that kind of stuff, man. And at the end of the day, you got to take care of your workers, man. I did this big long post about it, and I know you feel the same way, man.
You know what's crazy about that? When I came in, that's one of the first things I was talking about. And excuse me, what that didn't lead to great things. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So just my tip, be careful when you talk about money, but it is something that should be talked about. So it's that constant struggle of, well, you should talk about something because it seems to be a problem.
Yeah.
And then there's well, you haven't been doing it long enough to have any say in that.
Yeah.
Because of the whole
and paying dues and all that sort of stuff,
So it's a fine line.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a real fine line, man. Like I actually caught some issue before for fighting for somebody's pay, and then the person that I was fighting for their pay was mad at me.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, you know what? What I learned from that was, if you like it, I love it.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
If you like it, I love it. I can't fight for you if you don't see it as a problem.
Yeah.
And there's always that battle of passion versus, well, you're doing some good work, you should be paid. But
that's what I struggled with like the music more so. Like with the wrestling, like I knew I was the new guy. I knew I'd be paying my dues and stuff like that. And I like you even said at the beginning, and Nunez always says like have the uncomfortable conversations because nothing's gonna change. And I'm not confrontational. You know that, bro. But I've had conversations like in the wrestling business, like, hey, like I appreciate it, but I'm driving this far. I'm here for X amount of hours. And it's great, but I feel like I have a value and I bring this and I have a conversation and I just upfront, and I think it's important to have those uncomfortable conversations and that's the way it goes sometimes and it's different. But in the world of music, man, like it could be very great with like the fans and just putting out your projects. Like for me it was drums, but like the whole like selling tickets, which I get, like you know, you're bringing in a crowd and all that stuff, but that whole pay to play, like $1 on $20 tickets and all that kind of stuff, it really, it sours you. And
like, ugh.
Behind the curtain stuff again, like, you know, it's tough.
And it's a balance in itself to balance the because when there's things that are unspoken, it creates a tension that's there, but nobody wants to speak on it.
That's it, man. And nothing will change.
And nothing will change. And then there's angst, you know, so it's just, I'm blessed right now because a lot of the places I've been don't have those sort of issues, you know?
Yeah.
So, and there's so much great stuff in pro wrestling right now. Like, for instance, Monster Factory is doing this whole Monster Factory approved where you can't even book the building without a background check.
Yes.
You know? So there are great things going on that are changing. You have a young lady that's putting out a book about the speaking out movement. And, you know, I'm sure there'll be some hints of the wrestling industry in that. You know, so there are some great things that's going on. I know last year at Titan, we had a sexual consultant come in about, you know, basically workplace behavior and how to report things, etc. So like, and that I hadn't seen at a wrestling promotion before. So there's some really good things going on that's moving that needle to where we're going to get to a point where it's not going to be accepted anywhere, and it shouldn't be. But it's going to, just like anything, it's going to take some time. You got a new group of wrestlers almost monthly coming. It seems like we have a lot of young talent coming in, and a lot of them have great attitudes. They're real positive and have witnessed this whole movement. And I think we're going to be kind of champion the new wave as far as not really accepting the sort of things going on. So it's moving the right way.
Yeah.
And a lot of them got weeded out. So like, industry is going to be better for it.
It's got to be. I hope so, man. And like you said, like the landscape is changing, man. And you know, we got to use our platforms, however big or small it is, to make that change, man. And you know, that's why I liked you right out of the gate, man. Like I like what you stand for, man. And like we always have a good rapport, which is important because we're working on commentary, and you know, I'm still figuring out like my whole role. And man, and this is just talking to you now, man. It's just a good vibe, bro. And you know, we're tackling all these like, you know, social issues and stuff. But like I said, like wrestling is very, very positive. And again, it's all about smiles on faces. For me, it's just learning. I'm like a sponge learning from all you guys, man. But I'm curious, how did you get your start? Because you've been doing this for a while, it sounds like. How did you get your start with Titan?
Titan actually came through a guy by the name of Chad Minez. Shout out to Chad.
I owe the guy a lot, man.
Me too, you know, me too. Because if he hadn't ever had me up for, I did a ring announcing gig for him at one of the Titan shows just to do one of the, I believe, the standalone matches, and Billy brought me in commentary the next event. So Chad is the key to that. You know what I mean? So that's why I can't really hold any animosity toward Chad, because Chad's just I know some people hate him, but he's off the hook, man.
I owe that man.
I love Chad.
I owe that man a lot.
Yeah, he gave me my opportunities to do something that I've always wanted to do. So like, I gotta give it up to him. He's done a lot in New Jersey too. So there's so much good stuff going on in New Jersey. New Jersey is wild because there's a lot of promotions. So like any type of wrestling that you like, you can see it in Jersey. Yeah.
It's a good thing. Good thing for the fans, man. But yeah, dude. So obviously, you know, you got that start with Titan, man. So, you know, I know we have me and you. We had David Adams last time at Free for All, man. And I just like, you come prepared, and like, as I've learned, like in wrestling, a lot of it is like ready, fire, aim, or like the first time like I was in a ring and like part of like a segment, like I went up to like the wrestlers involved, and I was just like, hey, I want to be like very respectful of like the business. Like, what should I do? What shouldn't I do? Like, how do you want to do this? Like, you know, it's very cordial, and like, I'm the new guy, like whatever you want. And they're like, let's just go out there and have fun. And which is like, to me, like the worst like thing, but it really is like that sometimes, man.
It is really like that. Like people, I feel like I'm more like Randy Savage, where I try to plot out every single word
Yeah.
of the event, and like you got to be able to do it on the fly, man.
Yeah.
You have to with wrestling. As you can see, as we're talking right now, a lot of smiles and whatnot. That's why I keep saying, like, I know we had a segment earlier that wasn't the prettiest, but I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot of passion and happiness that's going on with indie wrestling too. So, like, just got to understand it's not all negative. People
No.
that want to make it better is it's not just to throw dirt. It's not
No.
to throw dirt, man, because you can see we get a lot of joy.
And there's some great people, man, and it like really touched my heart and been there for me and checked in on me, man. And this isn't like me. This is like them. They're just like good people, in the ring, outside the ring, man. And like you said, people that give us opportunities, people that check in with us, man, and do things to put a smile on my face, and I'm a big kid, like you said, we're all fans, man, and it's just. It's an amazing world, man, and just shout out to all like the really good people. Like my favorite thing is like when the parents, like it's daddy daughter date, it's father son going to the shows, like it's a family thing. Like that's my favorite thing. And I've seen like instances where, because let's be real, we're in this like reality social media era, so kayfabe, like outside of one or two people who I really do respect, is almost, I don't want to say it's dead, but it's almost non-existent. But
yeah, it's hard.
I've seen it when like these bad guys in the ring and like, they're outside the ring after the show and like the little kids are like hesitant, but they kind of want to like hug them or meet them and say hi. And they're like, no, I'm nice. Like, come over, and like, that's what it's all about to me. Like, really I love that. Man. Yeah, man.
That's I think one of the best parts of Asylum Pro Wrestling up in Housedale, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had a lot of kids in their crowd, and it wasn't like super smart crowd. They're just pure wrestling fans, you know what I mean, or just wanted to have a night out of entertainment. Those type of fans all fans are awesome, and all fans have something positive about them. But I really love the true like little kids, you know what I mean, that just are coming there to suspend the disbelief and are actively seeking that. And it's just a great experience, man. It's the kids love it. It's just the kids are awesome, man. The kids are so awesome. I don't even know what to say about them. They're just too crazy, man. You see them during the intermission running around and trying to do the moves. I'm like,
yeah. That's me on the inside.
But that's all of us, man. That's all of them.
It's amazing, man, especially nowadays, like when we started with the drive-throughs, and like that was like one of the first times I left the house. I was being careful because of my dad. That was the first time I was like, I'm going to stay in the car. I legit stayed in the car the whole time.
I'm not mad at you.
Yeah, like because we, this thing was new. We didn't know what was going on. Not to minimize anything, of course, guys. Let's get on the right track here. Everyone be safe and healthy, like we always say. But we have the limited capacity now. We have the outdoor event, April 17th. Shameless promo. Get your tickets now. Toms River, New Jersey. Titan presents Ignition. But I digress, man. But it's just it's so great to get out there to see smiles on faces because there's not a lot of events right now. Like we're seeing like Yankee Stadium, MSG are starting to have limited capacity crowds and all that kind of stuff, man. But we were kind of, not to be like, oh, we were first, but we were first, statistically.
We were definitely out there. We were definitely out there.
And it's a great thing.
It was a great thing. We didn't have anybody get sick. So like we did something right.
Yeah, man.
People were entertained during the pandemic.
It's great. But I wanted to ask you this, Marlon, because we talk about our love for the business, man. Like were you a fan as a kid, first of all?
See, this is the thing that kills me. I wasn't a huge WWE or wrestling fan at all. Like I remember the Austin era, the Attitude era, which that was the era where I was watching, and like the Crow Sting and the Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
I was big on that, but then I fell off of it. My best friend is like a huge wrestling fan.
We're the same person. Oh my gosh, go ahead.
Like for real. Getting into the podcast was supposed to be, he was going to be the historian and I was going to add the color.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that much about wrestling.
Yeah.
At that point, I didn't know that much. So he's just too busy. He's just, again, it comes in, everybody's got kids and whatnot. God bless them. I don't have kids, so I don't have to go ask somebody if I got a show in Tennessee. You want to come?
Yep.
I just go.
Yes, sir.
I enjoy that right now quite a bit.
Likewise.
I'm selfish.
Likewise.
But yeah, wrestling's an awesome thing for everyone. You know what I like? I like right now how wrestling. We have so many different type of backgrounds now in wrestling. Like we have like anything you want in wrestling, we got. You got the
Yeah.
luchadors, you got the exoticas, you got the Black Lives Matter. You got like so much representation right now that I think it's a good thing. I
Yeah,
think
man.
it's a really, really good thing. I think it's going to help all those type of cultures become more accepted in regular public life. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
let's be real, sometimes there's crap. Like
Yeah.
wrestling brings everybody together.
Right. It
It's
does,
it's
man.
it's wild. It's the wild, just the canvas that it paints with the people that's in it is ridiculous. You got police guys, you got guys that aren't doing the greatest in life, but they love this.
Yeah.
And that's keeping them together. You know what I mean? You got people fresh out of high school that are using this to get places and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like it's so you got older heads that always love wrestling that are able to have these promotions, that employ these guys. It's just and then you have kids even down to Bella where
Yeah.
she's like a little like man
And
learning
that's why I
that
want to
shit.
make it better though, man. Like I always joke, like, like great job on this. Rob. I'm like, I'm just keeping this chair warm for Bella. Like, and we want to make sure, and then this is not just
Both
like,
of us, man.
yeah, man. Like she's doing a great job, but like, we got to
Yes.
do everything the right way. And we got to make it better for, not just like the next commentators and interviews, but for the next superstars, for the locker rooms, man. And,
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. And I think, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that want to do that. And, there's the Safe Wrestling Coalition that's coming about, man. We're going to be talking to them pretty soon in one form or fashion.
Awesome.
I think with something we're working on. But yeah, man, that's what it's really all about, man. And again, like I said earlier, like, we're just talking like real talk here. We love wrestling, man. We're all about it, man. But I want to ask you, you mentioned Stone Cold. You mentioned Sting. Like, who were your guys? Was it like those two, or did you have like someone
Man.
else?
Booker T.
Yeah.
Actually, Harlem Heat. Harlem Heat was definitely big for me. Being a black guy fan. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's cool. They were badass. Crow Sting was to me awesome. And as an old now, like into it a little bit, it's crazy how hot that was for him for a year without saying one word.
Yeah.
So like the psychology behind that, ridiculous. But as a kid, yeah, Sting, Crow Sting, Austin, of course, The Rock, uh, man, so many. Too Cold Scorpio, which is crazy.
Yeah.
He's still rocking.
Still pretty. Yeah. He still kills it, man.
And he's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Tony Atlas, actually, somebody I just met.
I was
I
gonna.
didn't know about him as a kid. That was crazy.
I was gonna ask, like, have you met some of these guys? Like Tony Atlas, obviously we saw over the summer, which he was a total gentleman, man. They say sometimes you don't meet your heroes, but in a lot of cases, man, there's some very sweet, genuine people, man.
Yeah.
Did you get to meet any of the, like, I think you said you worked with Booker, right?
I worked with Booker at ECWA. That was pretty cool. He did a seminar there for
Nice.
it was about an hour and a half. He was just talking, straight knowledge, dropping knowledge. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was like, grab the note. Like,
Seminars are great, man.
Yeah.
If you're out there and you're
I've never been.
you gotta go to one, man.
Yeah.
I got to film one, so I got to film a couple of them. So the knowledge that you can get from those guys is, I think, unparalleled. Because I think a lot of time now the social media era, we got nothing against us as fans, but we got a lot of fans talking about wrestling. But if you're in the business and you want to like really learn about it, you should probably focus on somebody that's done it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of YouTubers are very entertaining. But when you want to get the real meat and potatoes, you gotta talk to guys like Danny Cage, like anybody like Monster Factory, I think is top tier.
A lot of great talent.
A lot of great talent coming out of there. Creator Pro as well. I think that's
Yes.
Pat Buck. You want to link up with guys like that. Even House of Glory with Amazing Red being the head trainer over there. I mean, dumb. You got dumb. Nowadays, you have so many opportunities to grab some knowledge from people that can actually tell you really how to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, even down to Josh Adams over at our own little training spot up in New Jersey.
That's
at
right.
the Adrenaline Sports Academy. Like Josh Adams been doing this for I want to say 10 plus years. I want to go higher than that, but
He's killing it.
He knows what he's doing, man.
Yeah.
Like so right now, to me, it's kind of the safest time to become a wrestler because you have a lot of people out there with a lot of knowledge, and right now people aren't looking to get into any bad publicity. So you're going to get top training, right? You're not going to get no BS from a lot of those type guys.
Yeah, very well said. That's great, man. And obviously we're all about the shameless promo here, Marlon. I gotta shout this out. Beating the Odds apparel, man. Like I saw you guys at the shows. Like I saw I saw you guys all wearing the stuff. I'm like, what is this? This is like really interesting, and it's a nice logo too. It's real crisp. It looks fresh, logo. Man. Yeah, tell us about that, man.
Beating the Odds is a brand by Stu Taylor, Lance Taylor. Basically, it's just to continuously get people to think positively, to help the next person if you can. And that when I say help, that doesn't mean give your whole bank account away. Yeah. But right now we're in a time where it's a lot easier to just walk past the bum on the sidewalk and keep it moving, or ignore somebody that's going through some stuff. That's probably part of the reason why suicide rates and stuff are so high as well. Yeah. Where the fellowship between just human beings is a little off. Yeah. So we want to send out a message where people can just think a little bit more about your neighbor, think a little bit more about your brother or people you call brother that you haven't checked up on. Just and keep pushing people to overcome things. Just beat the odds, Yeah. That's what we're all doing every day. But if we can focus more on that and get people, I want to get people, especially in the wrestling industry, I would love to get something going on with the mental health, because it's one of the things that I've noticed in the past 3 years I've done it, is that we lose a lot of people. And it's, again, this isn't a happy topic.
Yeah.
But that bothers me. That really bothers me.
Yeah, of course.
We gotta be better to each other, man. Yes. We really do. We really
absolutely
do, man. It's I always say the brotherhood for me doesn't end on Saturday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think we can get more of that. We might, you might save a person, man.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what people are going through.
You never know.
Social media is very good place to hide.
That's what I say,
What's
man.
Really going on.
I say it's I mean, like, me, I'm terrible. Like, I'll be the first to admit I'm terrible with the promo. Like, that's what it is for me. But to me, like, social media, like, it's great to connect with old friends and keep in touch with people. Like, that's most important, obviously. But obviously, all about the shameless promo. I always say that here, man. But we do use it, for charity and stuff like that. But when you're talking about you, or you're posting a status, you're literally controlling your own narrative. Like, it's, I posted something the other day, like, we all know social media is fake, right? Like,
you did?
Yeah.
I've been very off social media the last, I want to say, month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's because I'm like, and somebody posted today, I want to say it was Philly Swanson, posted today, where, like, it's very addictive.
Yeah.
It's very addictive, and you can get sidetracked easily.
That's a great point.
So it's a good weapon to use as far as social, pushing your events and promoting and marketing.
We've seen matches come about from social media. That's crazy to me. Yeah, but it's common.
I think it's a better tool than a negative. But,
oh, for sure.
Just like these cigarettes I keep picking up, like, they're highly addictive. So you gotta balance. Life is all about balance.
Absolutely, man. It is, man.
Yeah.
But can you real quick?
Media.
Yeah, dude, don't get me started. But
I really want this year for people to just, stay a little more connected with everybody.
Yeah.
if I could just go on and be on and go away, and let's try to, maybe not lose so many people. Shit.
Yeah, man. So I did want to get, before we move on, I did want to ask, Beating the Odds Apparel, is there somewhere like people can look this up or follow you guys real quick?
Definitely.
Yeah.
You go on Facebook, type in Beating the Odds, 3 words. The last odds is spelled with a Z instead of an S. Beating the Odds. You'll hit us on the website there, Shopify. I want to say /beatingtheodds.com, but the website is on the Facebook, so definitely check us out. Yeah, man. And
love it.
Don't just wear it, be it, become it, help people out. You know what I mean? Dude, let's create a whole new wave of positivity, man.
I love it, man. Very, very well said. And I did want to ask you this, man. Like normally I'm like, when I have like the superstars on, I'm like, oh, like what advice would you have for me? Like now that I'm, getting behind the commentary table and all that kind of stuff. But I literally asked you that question the first time I was there. I was like, Marlon, what advice, man? You give me all this great advice, man. And other people, which was cool because I was like asking you and like people overheard and like, they came up to me. So I got it from like the commentator perspective. I got it from a manager perspective. I got it from a superstar perspective. It was like really cool. Like it was, everyone was very welcoming. And I didn't do anything yet. Like, exactly. Like, it was really nice.
We're blessed really, man. Cause the guys we have around, like Dave Adams, he's a vet, Ryan Peterson, another vet, Risa Pappas, another vet. So like,
moment of risk.
We really can't go wrong over there. As long as you pick their brains while we have them, especially Adams and Peterson. Even Rissa is a ridiculous historian when it comes to a lot of the talent that's here.
Oh yeah,
we do it, man.
Love it, man. So when I came into it, I heard so many things, man. Like Rob, don't do this, do this, but you have to find, what your role is. And I still feel I'm finding that, but I don't feel like I'm lost in any way. Like with you guys, it's natural. I always try to get my like little puns in, which I think people like. They keep asking me to come back, so that's all I'm gonna say. Well, that's what I'm saying. Once it gets to that point,
as long as you don't say WrestleMania, we're cool.
Oh, that one killed me. That one.
Yeah, when he said that, I was like, "Boo, that man."
So it's like, but if it gets to that point, Marlon, just pull me aside, and be like, "Bro, all right, like, yeah, like,
never.
Stop,
never, man. Never. But you gotta throw it out there. Throw it out there, see what happens."
I think
I throw a lot of crazy stuff out there.
Dude, yeah, exactly. But it with vibes, man. And that's the most important thing. Like, I've never been at a table where I'm just like, oh man, like this isn't working. Like this is uncomfortable. Like you guys are great. And it's all, no, truly, it really is awesome, man. And everyone I talked to was kind of like, hey, like you have this podcast, like everyone knows you and like respects you and like they appreciate the platform. So bring that, it's like they always use that line, like turn, be you, but turn up to 11, which you always hear. But like, they're like, bring that to the table. Like you're the podcast guy, come on in, bring that to the table, talk about the interviews. And that's kind of your perspective. And I think it works, man. So I'm still finding me, I'm getting the puns in, hashtag the pun disputed era, but I want to know, but like, what's your like, not to pull back the curtain too much, but like, what's your philosophy, man? Cause I like your vibe, man. I always say the swagger.
I try to play assist man, because honestly, like, I don't know. I like the attention, but I kind of don't like the attention when it comes to the spotlight.
I'm the same way. I hate being on camera, man. I hate it. But
me too.
Even right now, I hate it, but I just like having a podcast. It's the way of the world.
The podcast is the way of the world, man. You definitely the podcast I think is key.
Yeah.
Keep that coming. The way it looks, your professionalism and whatnot. You got a great speaking voice. So it's like,
well, you're one to talk.
To you the other night. I was listening to you with Chris Barton.
Okay.
And you got a great radio voice, man. So just, all you gotta do is do you. But my philosophy when I'm on the table is to try to assist everybody. Because with 3 people, to me, it can be a little complicated.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because we're in a scenario where we got vets too, so we don't want to step on the feet of the vets. You know what I mean?
That was my first thing when I came in. I was like, I don't want to step on any toes. Like, I want to make an impression, but I don't want to step on anyone's toes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And the flip side of that is sometimes with wrestling, you got to get it in too.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy balance. But me, I try to a lot of times you'll hear me say, "What do you think?" etc. You know what I mean? It's because the other person just got done talking. Let me make sure he gets his in. So it's like you're a point guard. The way I deal with it is kind of like a point guard, and I'm distributing. I'm distributing the
Love
assists to
that.
make sure that everybody's morale is high. Because I
Love
don't,
that.
I can I'm fine. Because I'll get mine in. You know what I mean? The action will organically get mine in because I'm gonna yell something that's I don't even know I'm gonna say
Yeah,
it half the time.
I
I would
love
love
that.
to get to the point where I can drop in some stuff that I want to get in. But sometimes the great, a lot of times wrestling, the greatest stuff is organic.
Yes, you hit it right out of the park, man. Very, very well said.
And
Excuse
this
me.
is something from somebody that writes the whole script of the show before he goes.
Yeah.
Even though I know as soon as I get there, I'm going to throw it in the trash, probably.
No, stop. No, you do great. You do a
A lot
great
of times
job.
I do. That's like, this is them, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like,
Dude,
man,
you were
what you
hitting me
doing?
with the stats last time. I was like, this guy, man, like it was on point, man. Like I was kind of bringing, like I said, like that interview, like she said this about Vicky and and like you brought.
Yes,
Now
and that's
I'm
perfect.
gonna have heat with Vicky again, but and like you bring the stats, man. That's a whole nother story. But then we'll have you have the stats, man. It was vibing. It's really good. David Adams is always good, and that's not us being like putting ourselves over. Like I'll be the first to admit, like I'm the new guy, man, but I'm just so thankful for the opportunity that you've given me. David Adams was the first one to be like, hey, come call this Goddesses match, when Jackson, and I just jumped in and I was like, go. And it doesn't feel like a chore, man. Like every time we do it, it really is. It's like turning a page. Like it's this match, this is happening. It's, they tell their story in the ring and we have such a responsibility and I want to do them justice. It's so important to me, man. And by the end of the night, I'm just like, whew, like that was fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the last show we had, a lot of the guys, I guess, could hear us obviously on commentary.
Yeah.
I kind of zone out when I'm on commentary, but
same.
They could hear us, so they were just like a lot of them came up to us at the end of the shows, like, I heard you guys, you made it sound like legit. I'm like, that's good. That's what you want. If the talent, if we're putting over the talent, we're doing it right. Putting over talent, telling a story.
I think so.
So that can be difficult too sometimes because being a fan, you gotta kind of something you do. You gotta tuck your fan in, but at the same time, that flavor that comes with it, just sprinkle a little fanage, and
I love that.
It just gives you a lot of excitement, man. Because the people at home and the people in the seats are seeing the same thing we're seeing, and they're so used to commentary with their wrestling that that when they hear it, they're like, "Oh, okay, awesome." They get even more into the match.
Yes,
I've noticed that from crowd members that are nearby commentary, that they hear what we're saying, and then they react to it, and then we get even more into what we're saying. So it's cool.
I've done that because I'm pressed too. Like, I write for the Pop Break, shameless plug, but like I just thought everyone was just being nice to me because I was pressed and but everyone is really, really genuine. But like when I was like, hey, like Rob, we're gonna bring you in, we're gonna try you out and all that stuff, I was like, okay. Like I did the same thing, like you were saying, like I brought my chair over to the commentary table, and I kind of hung out by you guys, and I'm like, I'm not in your way, and they're like, no, please. And I was just like sitting there and absorbing everything, man. And it was just it's amazing, man. It's something that I never knew I wanted to do. And I'm just like so looking forward to Saturday and just to hang out with you, man, and call these matches. And there's some good matches on the card, man. I'm hyped.
Yes. What's the match you're looking forward to the most?
So, oh man.
There's so many, man. So much great stuff coming out.
There's a lot of good stuff. I love the one I'm looking forward to. Is Riley taking on Vicky, and this is no disrespect to any of the Goddesses on the roster, because there's a special place in my heart for a lot of them for a lot of reasons. Just some amazing humans and ladies. But that being said, I think Riley is a legitimate threat to the 6-month reign of the Vivacious Vicious one, who I know is already gonna have a problem with me saying that, much like she has a problem with my fashion sense. But that's a different story. I think Riley is a legitimate threat because she has been killing it in Titan. Was my match of the year for the ladies at Goddesses, her taking on Lady Frost in that no holds barred match that we called together, bro. So I think
great
that's
match.
Gonna be the one.
Only on Mophie TV. Definitely check
my
that
man.
out.
Anything you're looking forward to in particular?
Oh man, I'm interested in the whole card, obviously.
That's the right answer.
But man, start at the top, man. Monster Mac
Yeah.
and Fox Vineyard could be an interesting match. I think a lot of people are looking past Fox Vineyard. But you got Monster Mac on the other side of that ring. I think Mac will retain. But
Yeah.
the biggest part of that is just the whole Chris Barton, Johnny Moran,
I was gonna say
Monster Mac triangle. And I don't want to put Fox out of it because I personally think he's going to give Monster a little bit more than he thinks he's going to bring.
yeah.
But what is going on there? Like, because I think Johnny Moran feels like he deserves a title shot.
I thought it might go that way, but we'll see what happens. And again, like you mentioned, man, Chris Barton, obviously Cheap Plug came on the show and he really he has that chip on his shoulder right now. He's like, hey, I'm not on the poster. I'm taking on, your gold. And this is no disrespect because Johnny's my guy, man. I have nothing but amazing things to say about Johnny, former guest of the show. He's been great to us, man. And he's killing it in the ring. Just his career and resume speaks for itself, man. The guy's killing it. Big fan over here, but I'll be impartial. But Chris Barton has that chip on his shoulder, man. Said, he feels like Johnny Moran's overlooking him right now, man. And that to me is interesting. Too, yeah. You heard that.
Barton's talking real big too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be a great match. It's going to be a great match. He's going to have to definitely bring it. Barton's got a little edge to him though recently.
Yeah, it's that chip on the shoulder, man.
He's got a big chip, man. So we'll see what happens with that.
The Goddesses fatal 4-way for number 1 contender. That should be a great one. I'm excited to who would be next up, man. So it's going to be great, guys. Again, Cheap Plug, April 17th. If you guys want to go see, because there aren't a lot of events right now. This is an outdoor, socially distanced event following all CDC guidelines. April 17th in Toms River, New Jersey. That's this Saturday. Adrenaline Sports Academy, dude. I'm just stoked to see I really am. Like, that's my favorite. I just want to see everybody, man, and check in, and it's going to be great, man. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. Nico's Ricos.
Yes, how can we forget about that? 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3 falls.
The real winners, the fans, man.
Yeah, everybody wins in this.
Rico's, I was legit bummed when because that match, I think he kicked it off, right? That match at Free for All 2. I mean, I was like, wow, these guys.
These two really don't
like
a fight.
Yeah.
They really don't like each other, man. And then, Nico's, man, what, the belt spaz out? Like, you just going to break the belt? What?
Yeah.
What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
That was that's a belt, man. There's the level of respect that comes with that, man. So this is very interesting. We'll see. I think Billy had announced exclusively on the BCP that we may be seeing some new hardware coming in for this show. So that'll be really, really great. So I can't wait, guys. Again, get your tickets now. Marlon, before we get out of here, and thank you so much for a few minutes of your time, man. It's good just talking with you and vibing, man. I can't wait to see you on Saturday. Anything you want to say to the fans? Anything you want to plug? All that good stuff.
Just be there Saturday. Get your tickets right now. Bring your own chair is the only thing that's available.
Bring your own chair.
I've been told. First 2 rows are sold out. Anybody else that's running, guys, we hope you have a great show as well. Shout out to the whole indie wrestling community. You guys did a great job down in Tampa. Nothing crazy, not too many crazy events, minus Teddy Hart. But other than that, look at Bob's like, God darn it, I knew he was going to say something.
Oh, it's all good. This is why we don't go live. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right. Cut. But yeah, just I can't wait to see everybody on Saturday. Titan Championship Wrestling. Make sure you follow them on all social media platforms. Download that MoFi TV app so you can catch up on all Titan action. And guys, just continue to beat the odds. Treat each other with respect this year, man, and just let's make every event better for pro wrestling and indie wrestling.
Love it, man. It all starts with that conversation, man. And Marlon, again, thank you for not to be too mushy, man, but thank you for everything, man. It means a lot to me that you guys have welcomed me in and, taken me under your wing, brother. I really appreciate it, man. And continued success to you moving forward. All right.
No problem. I just want you to got to keep one thing from me.
Of course.
Whatever you do with this wrestling stuff. When I came in, people didn't, people at your certain spots. It's not every place is so welcoming as Titan is.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, Rob, just continue to do just like I did you, man. Because that's all I thought when I met you is like, I'm gonna treat him exact opposite of how some of these guys did me. You know what I mean? And that's nothing against them. It's just with this, there is some competition to it. Some people feel.
Right.
That's we're here for the show.
No, I'll remember that.
Whole positivity that you do, man. Like
I'll remember that. Yeah.
Teach one type tip.
I love that, man.
Saturday too, man.
Love very well. And I'll remember that, man. I won't forget that, man. Because a lot of people say, you're also like against your competition. I hear all that kind of stuff, man. And I never looked at it that way. And again, everyone's been real nice to me. I think I would because I was press or whatever, but like everyone's been really great, man. And I will remember that, man. And that's really just great advice, man. And thank you again for coming on the show. You had fun, bro?
No problem. Definitely. I've always wanted to come on the Bob's Culture Podcast.
Long overdue, bro.
I did it.
It's done, man. Did it. All right, man. Can't wait. All right, guys. And again, April 17th, Saturday, in a couple days, we'll see you at Titan Championship Wrestling presents Ignition. Turn the key, start the ignition. We'll see you there. And like we always say here on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other. We out. Peace.
Peace.